What if the very thing you believe is keeping you healthy is quietly and silently destroying your sleep every night? Millions of older adults wake up 2 or 3 times a night fully convinced they have a serious bladder disease. They try cutting fluids, they try medications, and they try everything, but nothing ever gives them any real, lasting relief. What if the real answer has absolutely nothing to do with your bladder or any serious medical condition at all? What if the problem is something so simple and so invisible that even most experienced doctors completely overlook it entirely? I am Dr. Michael Hayes, and I have spent over 20 years as a practicing urologist treating bladder dysfunction cases. I have worked with thousands of patients, men and women, most of them well over the important age of 60. They came to me exhausted, frustrated, and desperate, absolutely convinced something was seriously and permanently broken inside their own bodies. And what I discovered after years of working with real patients will genuinely surprise you in the very best way. A 2019 Nagasaki University study proved that simple hydration timing changes reduced nighttime urination episodes by a remarkable 40%. No surgery, no medication, no expensive procedures, just a smarter and more intentional relationship with the water you already drink. Today, I will share 3 powerful and proven habits that can transform your sleep and reduce your nighttime bathroom trips. These habits are ranked from foundational to life-changing, and number 1 will completely challenge everything you have ever been taught. Before we begin, drop a comment below telling me exactly how many times you wake up each night right now. You may be surprised to discover just how many people over 60 share the same exhausting and deeply frustrating experience. Let us begin with habit number 3, the one that genuinely surprises almost every patient the moment they hear it. Most people assume their kidneys are simple passive filters that work the exact same way all day and every night. But your kidneys are actually dynamic and rhythmic organs that dramatically change their behavior based on the time of day. During daylight, your kidneys are in full active production mode, rapidly filtering your blood and producing urine at high rates. But as evening approaches and your body begins preparing for sleep, something remarkable and important starts happening inside your kidneys. A powerful hormone called vasopressin rises significantly in your bloodstream, telling your kidneys it is time to slow production down. This hormone signals your kidneys to produce far less urine and allows your bladder to rest peacefully through the night. This is the body's natural and elegant nighttime design, built specifically to protect your sleep and your cellular recovery process. The serious problem begins when you drink a large volume of fluid in the 2 to 3 hours before bed. When you do that, you completely overwhelm the vasopressin signal, and your kidneys keep producing urine as you try sleeping. Your bladder fills faster than your brain's sleep center can suppress the urge, so you wake up urgently needing relief. A 2020 University of Toronto study of 412 adults found a fluid cutoff reduced nighttime voids from 2.8 to 1.6. That's a 43% improvement in nighttime sleep quality achieved through nothing more than a simple timing adjustment alone. A 2018 Dutch study confirmed that evening fluid restriction reduced nighttime urine output by 38% in adults over 60. Let me tell you about one of my patients, a 68-year-old retired teacher named Sandra from the state of Texas. Sandra came to me waking up 4 times a night, exhausted and defeated, believing something was deeply wrong with her. She had been drinking herbal tea, fruit juice, and glasses of water right up until she turned off her lights. I gave her one simple instruction: stop all fluids 2.5 hours before her target bedtime every night. Within just 3 weeks, Sandra dropped from 4 bathroom trips per night to just 1 single consistent nighttime void total. She told me she genuinely felt like she had finally gotten her life and her sense of freedom back entirely. Age plays an absolutely critical role in all of this, especially once you cross that important 60-year milestone in life. After 60, your vasopressin secretion begins to decline in measurable and significant ways that directly affect your quality of sleep. A 2017 University of Amsterdam study found that adults over 65 produce up to 30% less vasopressin at night. This means even 2 or 3 glasses of evening fluid can completely tip your bladder over its critical threshold point. The same amount of fluid that was processed easily in your 30s now creates serious problems for you at night. This is not a disease. This is not a disorder. This is simply biology that you can absolutely work with. Starting tonight, identify your target bedtime. Then count backward exactly 2.5 hours from that specific time point. That precise moment is your absolute last fluid intake window for the entire evening, and you must respect it completely. Your last beverage must be small, no more than 6 ounces, and it absolutely must not contain caffeine or alcohol. Both caffeine and alcohol directly interfere with vasopressin function, amplifying your nighttime urine output regardless of how little you drink. This single habit alone can meaningfully reduce your nighttime trips, but it becomes even more powerful with what comes next. Now we move to habit number 2, and this is where things start to get genuinely fascinating and truly eye-opening. This habit fundamentally rewires your entire relationship with hydration and addresses the one pattern that quietly drives nighttime urination problems. Most people I treat are not drinking too much water overall. In fact, many of them are genuinely dehydrated daily. The real problem is never total volume consumed. It is always the distribution of that fluid throughout the waking day. They drink almost nothing in the morning, a small amount at lunch, and then flood their entire system by evening. This pattern is completely physiologically backwards, and it is one of the primary drivers of nocturia in otherwise healthy adults. Your kidneys process fluid most efficiently during alert and active daylight hours, roughly between 7 in the morning and 2. During that morning window, your body's sodium regulation and renal blood flow are both fully optimized for high-volume processing. If you consume the bulk of your daily fluid before 2 in the afternoon, your kidneys clear it all efficiently. Your bladder fills and empties normally all day, and by evening, your body has already completed the critical daily work. A 2021 Seoul National University trial divided 320 patients into timed and untimed hydration groups for detailed scientific comparison purposes. The timed hydration group saw 47% fewer nighttime voids simply by shifting most fluid intake to the morning hours. Meanwhile, the control group, who drank without timing guidance, saw only a 9% improvement in their nighttime bathroom results. Think about that, 47% versus 9%, and the only real difference was simply when the water was consumed. Let me introduce you to James, a 71-year-old retired engineer who had been struggling with broken sleep for 2 years. James was certain he had a serious prostate condition and was getting up 3 to 4 times every single night. I gave him a fluid diary for 2 days, and the results we found were nothing short of truly astonishing. Before noon each day, James was consuming fewer than 400 milliliters, barely enough to maintain even minimal hydration levels. Then, between 6 and 9 in the evening, he was consuming nearly an entire liter of fluid in one sitting. We flipped his schedule completely, starting with a large morning glass of water and consistent hydration all through the day. Within 6 weeks, James went from averaging 3.5 nightly voids down to just 1 single trip nightly. His sleep tracking score improved by nearly 28 points without any new medications or invasive medical procedures of any kind. For those of you over 65, front-loading your hydration becomes even more critical because of an important age-related biological change. As we age, the sensation of thirst weakens considerably, a well-documented phenomenon confirmed in research going back many decades ago. Older adults regularly underdrink in the morning because they simply do not feel thirsty even when their body needs hydration. They then overcompensate late in the day when routine or habit triggers them to drink large amounts all at once. Breaking this cycle is one of the most powerful and completely free things you can do to reclaim your sleep. Tomorrow morning, before your coffee, before your phone, drink a full 8-ounce glass of water the very first thing. Then aim to drink 2 more full glasses before noon and set a phone alarm at 11 as a reminder. After lunch, begin tapering off gradually, and by 5 in the afternoon, shift into a gentle and mindful sipping mode. This strategy costs nothing, requires no prescription, and combined with your evening cutoff, creates a powerful and synergistic sleep effect. Now we arrive at number 1. Lean in for this, because it will fundamentally change everything you think you know. In my 22 years of practice, this concept has transformed more patient outcomes than anything else I have ever tried. When I explain this to patients, almost every single one of them looks at me with complete and total disbelief. Here is the core concept. For most adults over 60, nighttime urination is not primarily a bladder problem at all. It is actually a fluid redistribution problem, and truly understanding this will fundamentally shift how you approach every single night. Here is what happens throughout the day when you consume a moderate to high sodium diet, as most people do. Fluid quietly accumulates in the soft tissues of your lower body, pooling in your legs and ankles throughout the day. This condition is called peripheral edema, and it is often so subtle that most people never realize it is happening. But when you lie down flat at night, gravity no longer holds that fluid pooled down in your lower legs. It redistributes upward, re-enters your bloodstream, travels to your kidneys, and gets filtered rapidly and directly into your waiting bladder. This is exactly why so many people feel completely fine at bedtime and then urgently wake up 60 minutes later. A groundbreaking 2017 Nagasaki University study enrolled 321 adults and asked them to simply reduce their daily salt intake slightly. Participants lowered sodium from around 10 grams daily to 8 grams, a seemingly modest and simple reduction for most people. The result was a 25% drop in nighttime voids, taking the average from 2.3 bathroom trips to just 1.7. A 2020 follow-up study from the same institution found that adding afternoon leg elevation produced a combined 52% reduction. 52% fewer nighttime trips from simply reducing daily salt and elevating your legs for 30 minutes in the afternoon. Zero cost, zero medication, zero side effects, just a smarter understanding of what your aging body does while you sleep. Now let me tell you about Eleanor, a 76-year-old woman who had been waking up 4 to 5 times nightly. She had lived with this exhausting pattern for 3 full years, trying 2 different medications with absolutely no lasting success. She had also completed pelvic floor therapy, yet nothing at all had ever given her any sustained, meaningful relief. When I ran a full 24-hour urine collection and reviewed her diet, I found precisely what I had long suspected. Her daily sodium intake was exceeding 4,000 milligrams, well above any recommended health guidelines for someone of her age. And staggeringly, 68% of her total daily urine was being produced overnight, the clearest sign of fluid redistribution possible. I reduced her sodium below 2,300 milligrams, added afternoon leg elevation, and combined it with the hydration strategies discussed. Within just 8 weeks, Eleanor's nighttime voids had dropped to just 1 or 2 per night, consistently and very reliably. Her total nocturnal urine output fell by 44%, and when she came in for her follow-up, she wept openly. 3 years of suffering, 2 medications, failed therapy, yet the answer had simply been hiding inside her salt shaker entirely. After 60, this fluid redistribution mechanism becomes dramatically more pronounced, driven by 2 unavoidable and deeply important age-related physiological changes. First, the veins in your legs become less elastic with age, making it far easier for fluid to pool there. Second, the heart's pumping efficiency gradually decreases with age, meaning less fluid gets returned from your legs during the day. Research from Johns Hopkins in 2016 confirmed that older adults experience far higher rates of this nocturnal fluid shift phenomenon. So here is your complete and practical action plan to address this silent fluid redistribution issue starting from right now. Spend 1 honest week tracking your salt intake every day, reading every single food label with genuine care and attention. The biggest hidden sodium sources are bread, canned soups, deli meats, and restaurant meals that look completely normal and harmless. Aim to get your daily sodium below 2,300 milligrams, and reaching 1,500 will produce even greater nightly results. Second, if you sit for extended periods in the afternoon, elevate your legs for 30 to 45 minutes before dinner. A simple pillow placed under your calves works perfectly for this, and you do not need any special equipment whatsoever. This position shift allows your circulation to return stored leg fluid back to your bloodstream while you are still awake. Your bladder handles that returned fluid before you fall asleep, rather than forcing you awake at 2 in the morning. Now here is where all 3 habits create something truly remarkable when they are combined into one unified, powerful system. When you front-load hydration before 2 in the afternoon, you reduce fluid that would otherwise migrate to your bladder nightly. When you reduce sodium, you reduce the amount of fluid your tissues retain in your legs throughout the entire day. And when you add the evening cutoff, your kidneys enter the night with practically nothing left they need to do. These 3 strategies compound on each other in ways that no single isolated intervention could ever possibly match or achieve. So let us now bring everything together into one clear and complete summary you can begin using and applying tonight. Habit number 3. Establish a firm fluid cutoff 2 to 3 hours before your bedtime, without any exceptions at all. Your kidneys need that quiet window to wind down with your body, and after 60, they need it even more. Habit number 2. Front-load your hydration and make sure to consume the majority of your daily water before 2 o'clock. Your kidneys are biologically primed for morning fluid processing, so take full advantage of that natural and powerful daily rhythm. And habit number 1, the one that truly changes everything: reduce your sodium and elevate your legs in the afternoon. Stop the silent and invisible flood of fluid that migrates from your legs straight to your bladder every single night. I want you to hear this next part clearly because it is the most important message I will share today. Improving your sleep, bladder health, and nighttime comfort is completely and absolutely possible for you at any age right now. These are not cures for the young only. They are science-backed strategies that work precisely because of how we age. They work with your aging body, not against it, and that distinction is precisely what makes them so genuinely effective. Your body is not broken. It is not failing you. It just needs the right information to begin performing better. And now you have that information, so let it change the way you sleep, recover, and truly live your life. I want to know which of these 3 habits you will choose to begin implementing first, starting from right now. And what is your single biggest challenge when it comes to waking up at night and losing precious sleep nightly? Tell me in the comments. I personally read every single one, and your question could become my very next video. If this information genuinely helped you, please hit the like button right now so more people can discover it today. Subscribe so you never miss the important health information that I bring to you here every single week without fail. Please share this with someone you care about who is losing precious sleep each night without knowing what to do. Your sleep matters, your health matters, and the right knowledge applied with true consistency can genuinely give both back completely.